Let's go to the gentleman in the back row there. If you want to stand up, we'll get a microphone to you. If you can introduce yourself and ask your question to the Prime Minister.
Hi, I'm Steve Turner. I'm working for Groundwork on the Future Jobs Fund. I'm going to university in September to further my chances of getting a job in the future. Why am I going to be thousands of pounds in debt afterwards?
What sort of job are you looking for when you finish?
Teaching English abroad.
You would like to teach English?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, if you're a graduate and you get this qualification, the evidence is that people who are graduates will, over their lifetime, earn twice as much as people who are not graduates. So it's a big incentive to get a degree because, on average, you'll earn twice as much. And that's why our grant system and our loan system is as it is. But when I went to university, only 5% of people went to university. I was very lucky to get there because I got a grant to get there. But now 40% of people go to university, and it's going to rise to 50%. And we've got to find a way of sharing this burden. So more students are going to university this year than any year in our history. More women, by the way. The majority of students going to university this year for the first time is women. And more people are getting a grant this year than at any time. But I accept that there is a loan element in the tuition fee system. And it's the balance between what the government does, what the parent does in some cases to help them, and then what you pay back as part of the tuition fees. And we've tried to create a situation where it's a low interest loan. It doesn't need to be paid back immediately if you can't get a job, and it's only paid back after you earn a certain amount of money. But I do say to you that the benefits of getting a job mean that your income is likely to be higher, and therefore it's a fairer system that you contribute something while the whole community contributes something through the government to your education as well. We're determined to make sure that we don't deter people from going to university, but we've got to find a way of balancing the costs of it in future between, if you like, the government and the person who benefits from the education.
But Prime Minister, is it worth going to university if the jobs aren't there when you leave?
Yes, it's worth it, because basically I see in the next... What's going to happen in the next few years? It's a really exciting world because China, India, Asia are all growing. America and Europe will be part of this new world. The world economy will double in size over the next 15 years. Whatever's happening now in the recession, just think about how the Chinese and Indians and other countries are going to be wanting to buy consumer goods, wanting to buy goods, high technology products. You know, so a British person invents the iPod. It's produced in China, of course, but there's a huge amount of money goes back to the inventors. But that is an iPod that's going right around the world, and everybody wants to buy it. So there are more jobs going to come in the future in digital. The digital revolution is just starting. Biotechnology, Wales incredibly good in this, moving forward. Lots of jobs in the medical, biotechnology, life science. Low carbon, again Wales, really in the lead here. Low carbon engines, but also renewables, wind power, everything else that will create large numbers of jobs from the future. The creative industries, fashion, design, architecture, all these things. Britain's leading. Britain and Wales has got some great celebrities in this area as well. And these are the jobs that are going to create the products that people want to buy in every part of the world. We are ahead because we've got this inventive quality, the scientific genius, we've got the creative design, and then out of these industries will flow lots of jobs in the service sector as well for a range of people as we can afford to buy the services, including social care, healthcare, and everything else. So huge opportunities for us. Education will be exported to lots of countries. Lots of students want to study British, Welsh universities as well. So I say 1 million new skilled jobs will happen in the next 5 years if we pursue the right policies, and therefore it's worth getting the qualifications. Apprenticeships, college qualifications, and university qualifications. Don't miss out on the chance to get these qualifications for the future, because the skilled jobs are going to be available in the next few years.
OK, thank you. Can we hear from Les Tuckwell, please? Les, hi. We'll get a microphone to you now.
How are you, Les?
Good morning.
Good to see you.
I'm a street pastor coordinator in South Wales, and antisocial behaviour has been highlighted around here and throughout the UK. There have been several stories, particularly in our local paper, the South Wales Echo, about the problems of binge drinking in Cardiff and other cities. What will the Labour government do to get a handle on antisocial behaviour and give young people something to do? And would a complete ban on cheap drinks promotion be something you would support?
Well, I've already expressed my views on these cheap drinks promotion, that I don't find them very attractive because of the effect it has on encouraging people to drink more than they want to in the end, and more than they should. And I think a lot of this is to do with education. You know, the most effective advert in persuading people not to drink as much has been the advert that shows how during an evening the face and the presentation of a girl changes as a result of the effect on drink on her. And that's had a huge effect in changing people's attitudes, particularly girls' attitudes, teenage girls' attitudes to drinking. But we're giving local authorities the power to clamp down on 24-hour licenses. We're giving the local authorities the power to take action to declare areas that are unacceptable if behaviour gets out of hand. And when it comes to antisocial behaviour, look, I'll be honest with you, there's a problem that is not easy to solve. You've got, in every area, or in most areas, one or two families that are completely dysfunctional, whose behaviour is chaotic, who affects the rest of the neighbourhood by the actions that they engage in. And you find when you look at the problem, it's not just the teenager who's off the rails, or it's not just the father who's got a problem because he's got a criminal record. You find that the whole family has got a history of not being able to do things correctly, and they need help, and they need tough love, and they need to have a contract, and they need to be told, get this sorted out, or you lose your tenancy, get this sorted out, or your family may have to be broken up. And that's why we've developed what we call family intervention partnerships. So instead of lots of people from school attendance officers to social workers sort of hovering around, you have someone who takes responsibility for enforcing that contract on that family. And there's a 75% rate of success in the projects we've done, but we know we've got to cover far more families where there's antisocial behaviour and sometimes violence right at the centre of that family. So yes, we've got to take tough action on alcohol and to deal with the teenage drinking problem. Yes, where there is violent crime, we've got to have the police forces as effective as possible, and I know they do their best, and I'm proud of our police forces, but we've got to think of these problem families, these chaotic families that bring the country down, but also bring the neighbourhoods down, where if they're not behaving, it's got to be tough and comprehensive action, and not just with people hovering, as I say, around the family. You've got to get right into the heart of the family and say, sort yourself out or else. And that's really the policy that we'll have to adopt for the future for some families.
Les, does that answer your question?
To an extent, but can I just add, what about the cheap alcohol that's provided by the supermarkets?
Yeah, my view is, we put up taxes for alcohol, as you know, and it's not popular sometimes when you do that. Supermarkets have got to be far more responsible in the offers they put forward. Now, if we set a price ourselves, we'd be giving a benefit to the supermarkets by saying they should charge more and make a profit. I think what we've got to do is to work with the supermarkets to end some of these deals that are really not acceptable. And so there is a lot of talk going on with the supermarkets themselves.
Les, thank you very much. I think we'll take one more question from the floor if we can. Who would like to ask one? I think your hand went up first there, the lady just in the front. If you could introduce yourself and ask your question.
It's Bernie Jackson Limited, and also a council member for the South Wales Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, good.
Mr. Prime Minister, you spoke earlier about avenues for recourse for small businesses who do not get lending from the banks. But in my position, being at the pulse of what's happening in the small businesses, small, medium and large businesses, what I have found is that there's also great difficulty accessing funding which that you have all made available through the, well, in our case, the Welsh Assembly. And what I'd like to find out is what kind of recourse is there? Or is there any kind of accountability that can be leveled with respect to the funding that is made available every year, and sometimes the year ends with millions of pounds not accessed by the businesses?
Well, the buck stops here, so if there's a problem about funding from government money, you come and raise the point with me and give me the specific example. Over the last year, lots of money has been available under what's called the Time to Pay scheme. And that means that if a business is finding cash flow difficult, we will say, postpone your payment of national insurance or taxation or VAT, and we will let you postpone that for some time till your cash flow sorts itself out. And there's tens of thousands of businesses, I think 200,000 in the whole country have benefited from that. And that's been one of the most successful ways we've helped business with cash flow. This year we're also cutting business rates to help people, and we want to keep the interest rates low that you pay. But if you've got any complaint about the way an agency is working or the way government funding is working, give it to me or Peter Hain and we will have it investigated for you. And if it's common to the South Wales Chamber of Commerce, Peter will come and meet you and talk about it.
Okay, lovely. Our time is drawing to a close, actually, so we'll get as many questions in as we can.